Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world and another exciting episode of George Spooner and the Woman Who Loved a Horse.
Loved it.
And where we left them last time, George Spooner had just worked out while he was talking to Daisy that the reason he was being followed and murdered, or at least people were trying to murder him and murdering other people by accident, was that they were after something. And through a process of careful and clever deduction, he realised it must be his handkerchief, and that therefore his handkerchief must be magic. That's where we left it. I must have a magic hanky, and that they're trying to murder me for.
That's an amazing process of elimination. I must not have actually listened to that episode because I don't remember that, and I'm like going, wow, how does he come to that conclusion? I mean, I know how he comes to the conclusion because like, you know, I needed him to, but I don't know what.
Yeah, that's why, not how.
Yeah, I don't know what I did in order to make it seem remotely believable.
I think the great thing about George Spooner is you're so kind of taken with his voice and character that, like, you're not noticing plot holes or how ridiculous, because everything about him is ridiculous, and so you just kind of buy into it. And when he goes, "Oh, I've got a magic hanky," you're just like, that sounds like exactly the sort of thing George Spooner would say. Okay, he might be right this time, or he might not, but it's very in keeping with his character.
That's right. That does make sense. I do it in order to make him appear foolish, but of course he does. In fact, it is in fact the handkerchief that they're searching.
Well, spoilers. We don't know that yet, but yeah, it is the handkerchief, and it is magic. Anyway, let's get back and see what George Spooner's up to with that magic hanky or whatever, shall we? Please.
Yes, please.
Good heavens! Magic! Daisy, that's it! The handkerchief is magic. Like the horse, Daisy said, her eyebrow raised. I know. Who ever heard of a magic hanky? But Amelia distinctly told me that Jean Dupont had a trolley of charms, everyday objects that carried powerful spells. This must be such an item. I wonder what powers it holds that people would kill for it. It's a magic hanky. Yeah. I've worked it out.
Yes, a magic hanky.
Daisy was watching me with an intense stare now as she wiped the knife clean with her napkin, the candlelight playing on the sharpened steel and the berry juice soaking into the cloth like Amelia's blood into the missing hanky. Very well, George. Supposing it's true, and I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt since nothing about this affair has been normal, tell me, where is the handkerchief? Well, what? It's hard to say precisely. Why is it? What have you done with it? She sounded worried. Oh, nothing. I mean to say, I'm 99% sure it's in England. You said a friend has it. Who? I looked around the cafe suspiciously. I daren't say, Daisy. We could be overheard. Then whisper it. But what if Jean Dupont can hear everything? She has been ahead every step of the way so far. She may be able to hear everything through her magic. Or her ears, because she is you, secretly, in disguise. No, you're being silly. I don't want to put I looked around again to see if anybody was listening. My friend in danger, better safe than sorry. She sighed. Fine, regardless, we must retrieve it. So, if you're certain your mystery pal is back in Blighty, then we'd best hire that plane you were talking about. So, whether at some point he said that his friend's got his handkerchief somehow, And we now know that his friend has his handkerchief in England, and his friend is called Ga something.
Well, we know who that is.
Do we? Is that
No,
the dwarf?
we should do. It's just bad writing, yeah. Yeah, he gave the handkerchief to that dwarf.
And what's the dwarf's name?
It's tall Mr. Tall Dwarf. Oh, it's got
Good name.
Good
name, Mr.
I know. It's Gangly Joe.
Gangly Joe, yes, of course. All right.
Yeah,
that's
Gangly-
why it's Ga.
Gangly
All right.
Joe has the hanging.
Although I feel like in a redraft, Mr. Tall Dwarf is a good one to go for.
Yeah, okay.
Redver's Luckenbill was old. Not just beating the average 60-year life expectancy, he had exceeded that long ago. Redver's was considerably older than this and appeared to have no intention of stopping aging any time soon. The fact of his age was all the more unlikely when you took into consideration he had flown during the Great War, when pilots on average had lasted only 11 days. Why they had let this man, who would have been a pensioner at the time, fly is anybody's guess. I supposed he was a hard man to refuse. Consequently, Redvers had flown from day one right through to the blessed end.
Wow.
And survived to tell the tale, mainly dropping bombs in the early days, then later also engaging in aerial combat. I think we have to entertain the possibility that Redvers Luckenbill is a massive liar.
Yeah.
Didn't have no bloody machine gun to begin with, sir.
Oh,
no. We'd be flinging insults at first. Well, that ain't no use. Next thing, we're flinging grenades. Of course, these grenades, right? Did you see combat, sir? No. You'd have been knee-high to a toad. These grenades were bloody useless. No timers, you know. No timers. No timers, you pulled the pin out and they just explode in your fucking face. Who invented them? No, he goes on. Supposed to explode on impact. But if you were lucky enough to hit the enemy plane, the grenades... Wow, what are they... Because I'm so used to grenade... I mean, I assume they're shooting grenades, right? But I'm so used to the idea of them being thrown that now I'm picturing him in his plane, opening the window.
Yeah, that's
like
what's
winding
happening
down
here.
the window and throwing grenades at. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Is that something... No, that's not something that happened in wartime.
I think that's something
Don't
that
tell me
happened.
that's real.
I think that
Really?
this is something... I mean, I don't know. Maybe...
I mean, I know they had bombardiers who would, like, drop bombs and they would, like, wait for the right moment, have to calculate it and everything.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, because I think, I mean, like, maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I remember doing some research into the fact that they didn't have machine guns to begin with.
No, I think you're wrong about the thing about you remember doing... I could be
Okay.
wrong, but I think I remember doing some research.
I
you're
remember making something up in my own head that,
no.
that,
No, I believe you. Go on.
that they didn't
Go
have
on.
machine guns to begin with because they couldn't figure out where to put
Yeah.
them without shooting their own planes. So,
Okay.
so when they were
Makes
up
sense.
there and they saw enemy planes, the only
Yeah.
way to fight them was to crank down your window and throw a bomb at them.
The thing is, I mean, I know nothing about warfare in
So it
general.
may as well
and,
be true,
certainly
right?
not First World warfare. I mean, it could just as easy... I mean, it's the kind of stupid thing that I could believe to be true, but it's also the kind of stupid thing I can imagine you making up in your head.
Yeah.
So I got no way of knowing. I feel equally
Yeah.
convinced by both arguments.
Again, but we did suggest that maybe he's a liar. So
Yeah. So whatever the truth is, the character works.
yeah, it's a good voice. But are you going to be able to sustain it because it's
Yeah,
gonna
no,
hurt-
it didn't.
not gonna hurt?
It didn't seem to be hurting.
Okay, cool.
Supposed to explode on impact, but if you were lucky enough to hit the enemy plane, 9 times out of 10, the thing would just bounce off and then explode when it hit the ground. Probably exploding a sheep or some such. So, the boys at the top, yeah, they sent down instructions so that we can be making our own. Made them ourselves, see? Jam tin grenades.
Wow.
Course, you can't trust these buggers either. Lord, no. They got a fuse, see? So, it's all about the timing. But I've seen them go off 4 times. This is a very long speech, though. I'm fucking exhausted. But whatever the voice is, just getting through it. Or not maybe they take so long. But I've seen them go off 4 times. Or not maybe they take so long, you score a hit. but they ain't gone off yet, and then, bold as you like, Jerry's throwing 'em back at you. That's how I lost this ear. I say this ear, but of course I ain't got no ear here. I lost it. His ear was not the only thing he had lost. He wore an eye patch in lieu of his right eye. And I could see a peg leg peeking out from under his kicks. And if he told you that he single-handedly defeated an entire flying circus, then he meant it literally, as his left arm ended in a hook.
Oh, wow. Wow.
To
He's a
all
pirate.
intents and purposes, he looked like a pirate, sans parrot. And in fact, not too far removed from that profession, he now operated as a smuggler.
Ooh. He is a pirate. He's got a patch, a hook, a peg leg, a missing ear, and
A missing parrot.
Yeah, and a missing parrot.
I had me parrot shot off in a war.
Yeah.
I got a hook on my shoulder now. I replaced me parrot with a hook.
Yeah.
Hook hand, hook leg, hook parrot. And hook eye.
Yeah.
Just didn't understand. No, mate, you're just supposed to replace the hand with a hook because it's useful, not the leg and the eye as well. And definitely not the parrot.
Well, no, because, I mean, it isn't useful, is it? I mean, a hook hand's pointless, so they may as well, I mean, yeah.
You can see the logic. You can pick things up with it if you stab them. You know, you can pick up bananas with it and stuff. You know, you got a hungry monkey, and you can hook the banana. Or if you're trying to stop a monkey from stealing your banana, you can hook it
Hook
quickly.
the monkey, yeah.
Course, to begin with, sir, we'd be waving at one another, all very civil, as you like. All right, Tommy. All right, Jerry. Nice day for it. Preferred that, if I'm being honest. Job was a lot safer then. But as soon as someone's lobbed a brick at someone else's head, there's no going back, is there? It's, oi, did you just lob that brick at my head? I certainly did, sir. What you going to do about it? And then everybody's lobbing bricks. There's more bricks than there is planes. And once you've been hit one too many times by a brick, you start to lose job satisfaction, do you see? Stops being so much about dropping bombs and more about lobbing bricks. Very long speech about lobbing bricks, isn't it? I hope it's important.
Oh, very.
Bricks and rocks to begin with, then grappling hooks. Then it's grenades, and finally they're strapping a machine gun to the back of your plane. Of course, you can't fly backwards, can you? So everybody's spending all the time spinning around in bloody circles. Soon as you see the enemy coming, you turn the plane around and naturally they do the same, yeah? And before you know it, they're gone that way, you're gone this way, and they're nowhere to be seen. So you turn the plane back around and go find them again, and then you turn your plane around again so your buddy can aim your gun, whilst they do the same, and there you are, all over again, flying away from each other. They called it dogfighting, but it was more like two dumb dogs chasing their own tails, spinning around in bloody circles till they got dizzy and ran out of fuel and, had to land. Not dogs, of course. Dogs can't fly the planes, but you get my point.
Yeah, dogs don't run out of fuel, that's true. Well, I suppose they do.
They get tired.
I don't know, if you don't give them enough bones.
then they have to land.
Yeah.
They have to land. You get the point, yeah.
Yeah.
Redvers had been talking solidly for an hour now. It does feel that way, yeah. He may very well have lost a lot of senses during the Great War. A hand, an ear, an eye. Even his nose looked worse for wear, but his mouth was fully intact. I had made the error of asking Redvers about his flying experience, which had led to a very animated speech on all aspects of the war that had gotten lost somewhere along the way and seemed in no imminent likeliness of finding its way home. Don't misunderstand, his stories were very interesting, but I did have more pressing matters on my mind, and I was trying to figure out a way of drawing him away from the war and back to my current predicament when Daisy chirped in with, "How much to hire your plane?" It seemed to do the trick. Redvers stopped talking and took a long puff on his pipe. He blew out a series of smoke rings. "Depends," he said eventually. "On the risk. What's the cargo?" Redvers, as I mentioned, was a smuggler. We had finally tracked him down in the early hours of the morning to the back of a cellar bar in the English Quarter after buying a lot of drinks for a lot of suspicious-looking characters until we found a scrawny, toothless bird by the name of Shady Henry. Although it's spelt the French way, so I suppose it's Shady Henri.
Yeah.
Or perhaps it's Shady Henri.
Yeah, Shady Henry.
By the name of Shady Henri, with answers, a penchant for free wine, and a loose tongue. He had led us down a series of increasingly unpleasant alleyways until finally depositing at the intriguingly titled Le Chien Mort. The dead dog, right? That's the dead dog. That means the dead dog.
It does do, yeah.
Well done for branching out for... After the war, Redvers had failed to receive any recognition for his sterling work at defeating the Boche on account of the fact that he was not officially in the army. He just got in a plane and started shooting people. He had been too old to serve when the war began, but because of his experience as an engineer in the field of aviation in the years leading up to 1914, they had let him fly, but strictly off the record.
Oh.
Because of his experience as an engineer, shouldn't they have let him be an engineer then? Like, if he had experience as a pilot, they let him fly. But, I mean, they need engineers as well, right? That's an important job.
Yeah.
For the Air Force during the First World War, I would imagine.
Yeah,
that seems like a bad decision by the generals there. The fact that he had proven to be one of, if not their finest pilot, you would have imagined they might waver their rules. But they would not. And so Redvers Luckinbill received little more than a pat on the back and a parting gift of some ham for all his effort.
Nice. And we wore it on his chest like a medal.
Still wearing it now. It's looking very rotty now.
Just maggots on a bone.
Prior to this snub, Redvers had been a fiercely patriotic fellow, as you would imagine someone willing to risk life and limb for 4 years would be. But this slap in the face rather woke Redvers up to the realization that perhaps blindly serving king and country and losing 23% of your body on account of an archduke you'd never heard of, let alone met, had perhaps not been such an admirable undertaking after all. And he concluded, since he had no intention of dying any time soon, that he would live the remainder of his life by his own laws and hang the lot of them. I tell you what, I'm glad we came to this particular story after I'd had like 7 or 8 years practice of reading out loud. Because this one has got some long sentences that are really... I think when we first started doing this, like if we'd done this immediately after Ginger Beasting, for example, I wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just turn it into short.
No, they're good sentences. They're good sentences. It's just it's a challenge to perform.
No long sentence is a good sentence. It should just be like broken into smaller sentences.
I mean, yeah, most of the time. But there's a certain style to this one, I think. George Spooner is a rambling, overly talkative, perhaps... I mean, it's kind of... Even though his backstory doesn't support it, he comes across as that kind of overly educated but not terribly intelligent upper class character, isn't he? I mean, that's what you're writing, and then you're like, but I used to be a coal miner, honest.
Yeah.
And he really is convincingly that, like, got good vocabulary, excellent vocabulary, good understanding of grammar, can speak Latin, but no real common sense or actual useful intelligence, you know.
Well, we know he paid his way into Oxbridge, didn't he? So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because there was some mention about like the rugby there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I guess he gave himself, he smarted himself up a little.
Yeah, because I'm saying it's a convincing version of that character, that like excessively educated but not having much sense kind of character, and the long kind of clause after clause after clause types of sentences, they really suit that. You know, they suit the character. Yeah. They don't suit my character because I'm kind of simple.
Yeah.
And like short sentences.
Fair enough. So it was okay until he bumped into a character who likes really, really long sentences as well, and then it's just...
Yeah. Another rambling character, yeah. So it was that Redvers put his talent for aviation to work purely for his own gain, and began his smuggling operation, transporting anything and everything so long as you could afford his price. His army aviator jacket, that he still wore to this day, was now covered in medals that he had acquired over the subsequent years, and awarded himself whenever he had successfully undertaken a particularly interesting and dangerous operation.
Wow.
And next to them was that ham that he had been given at the end of the war, all rotten and covered in maggots.
And on the wall was Brillo Dillo Aviator magazine that he'd drawn himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm on the front cover of Brillo Dillo Aviator, and look over there, Brill Bend Aviator magazine. Fucking love it. Yeah, I'll do that.
I mean,
get myself a medal
awarding
for drawing
himself medals, liking ham. I mean, there's a lot of similarities here.
Yeah, absolutely. Missing a leg.
Yeah. Always riding on a crab. Red-nosed Lucking Bill.
You know what I like best about this show,
Yes.
Howard, is how it's free.
Okay.
Horse is good, but I like how it's free and you
Yeah.
just get it on your podcast app. That makes it really easy, and it just updates with new stuff and things, right? That's great. And what scares me about things like Patreon is like going to a website and having to download things and pay. But if I didn't have to do any of those things, I think it'd be great. And what's that you say, Mr. Patreon Banana? You can do that. And in fact, if you sign up as a free member, you can get an RSS feed to paste into any podcast app you're using.
Wow.
And access our free content just on your podcast app like the worst writer in the world. And there's quite a few episodes right there, right now for you. And every now and again, we free up another episode. Probably about time we did that. Maybe what we should do soon is make a different Secret Gang podcast available to our free members so they can listen to one of those great, rambling, exciting, all over the place kind of investigating everything in the world kind of shows that we do.
Oh, yes. That sounds fantastic.
Well, go to patreon.com/manbycow, sign up for nothing. All you need is an email address, get your private RSS feed, paste it into your podcast app, and you will have access to our free stuff. And then later, if you do decide to upgrade, should you want to, you can do that, and immediately you suddenly get loads more stuff in that same RSS feed, just like a normal podcast. And you can listen to it to your ear's content.
It's a ruddy big bargain.
Thank you, Mr. Patreon Banana. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to George Spooner and find out what's happening with him and if he's ever going to mention that woman who loved a horse. We are the cargo, I said. Myself and the lady. Criminals, are you? You don't look like criminals. I took a look around, as had become my custom these past 24 hours, to check to see if we were being observed. But the only other person here was asleep and snoring loudly. I suppose they could have been pretending to sleep, however, and so I lowered my voice to answer. We are wanted. That is, I specifically am wanted in relation to several incidents. What incidents? Do you really need to know? In the adventures of Baz Hammer, chaps like you usually operate a no questions asked policy. Baz Hammer? I do like them stories. Sometimes on a calm crossing, I'll put me feet up and have a flick through. I wrote one myself once, you know.
Oh, wow.
Wrote my own detective story, that's right. I like ham. I like to award myself medals. I draw pictures of myself on magazine covers. I've got one leg and an eye patch. And I like to write detective stories. Yeah. I tell you what, that's the voice. Baz Hammer, I do like them stories. Sometimes on a calm crossing, I'll put my feet up and have a flick through. I wrote one myself, you know, but they wouldn't publish it. Oh, no. No. I wrote one myself, you know, but they wouldn't publish it. Oh, no. Reckon it wasn't realistic enough. Too silly, they says. Nobody's that witless, they says. If only they knew. I could tell them some stories. I once seen a fella shoot his beak off from scratching it with a gun. Oxford fella as well. You can teach a man Latin, but you can't teach him common sense. This is exactly what I just said about George Spooner. He's just describing George Spooner here. And what good's Latin if you haven't got a nose? None. No, hold on. What I mean to say is, as hard as it may be to speak Latin, I find that people are generally more impressed if you have a nose. What the fuck is going on with the end of that speech? I'm not sure that's true. Everybody has a nose. He hasn't. He points at Voldemort.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about the guy who shot his nose. I thought he was pointing. I thought we were going to have some, like, no-nose Pete was going to come in at that point.
Yeah.
And he was going to go, no, incorrect. I shot it off with a gun. It was really bad.
That's right, yeah, because, I mean, like, Redvers has lost everything apart from his nose, right? So, like, he should travel with someone who doesn't have a nose. And he did actually say beak as well, so it should be his parrot. His Oxbridge-educated parrot that shot his beak off.
Yeah. Who says, Pluggy want a volivant, but in Latin.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of what parrots are meant to actually say. Polly want a cracker,
Yes.
right? That's the classic line. I was like, Polly. I know it's Polly want something, but I couldn't think of it, so I had to switch to Pluggy want a volivant, because that's the one I'm familiar with. I could listen to that all day. So what he's actually saying is, I'm not sure that's true. Everybody has a nose, and Red Bill, whatever his fucking name is, Redvers, says he hasn't, talking about the guy he's just been discussing. No, but if he had, that would be impressive. What? No, I don't know. All right, I don't know what they're talking about, actually. He says, no, but if he had, that would be impressive. If he grew one, I suppose it would.
Oh, right, yeah.
We all grow them.
That's true, we do all grow our noses. No, it's fine. Just go with it.
So let me see if I understand.
He hasn't got a nose.
Redvers is on this diatribe about people being stupid and shooting themselves in the face.
You got to remember that this man is like riddled with Alzheimer's because he's really, really old. So he's just talking rubbish, right?
But what's George Spooner's excuse? Because he says everybody has a nose, and Redvers points out, well, the bloke I'm talking about hasn't, and then George agrees, but then Redvers says, but if he had, that would be impressive. So he hasn't got a nose, but if he did have a nose, that would be impressive. And then, which in itself is like, I'm really impressed with noses.
He's saying,
generally, if he had
preempting whatever that next bit was about growing one, right? Because he's saying like if he had a nose, it would be impressive because he didn't have one like earlier.
But that's not what he says, because that's what Spooner says. He says if he grew one, I suppose it would. But actually, what Redvers is saying is, if he had a nose, I'd be really impressed. Like, if he'd always had a nose and he was fine, I'd just be, every day I'd be going, hey, mate, good nose you got there. I'm always amazed by your nose ownership skills. But then Redvers says, we all grow them. What's going on? Why does it... Every sentence is a non sequitur. It doesn't make sense.
Why is that a complicated thought?
But no, it's everything doesn't quite fit with the line that came before. He hasn't got a nose, no. But if he had, that would be impressive. If he grew one, I suppose it would. We all grow them. Like, not after we've shot them off, we don't. That's what we're talking about.
Not then.
Which point are you talking
he's forgotten
about?
That sentence. He's on a new thought now.
Okay.
Like me when I wrote it. Because this is some classic first drafting, like 13-year-old Howard. Well, it'd be impressive if he had a nose. Well, yeah, because he would grow it. And then like going like, well, we all grow noses, don't we? I'm just having thoughts and putting them down on paper with no little regard to whether they mean anything.
Probably getting interrupted as you like someone comes and asks you if you want a cup of tea or something. You're like, and then you go back and you look at the line before. If he grew one, I suppose it would. And well, we all grow noses. Don't put that one down. Put that line down. Don't worry about the line before. Anyway, fortunately, at this point, Daisy's going to interrupt by saying, George, Mr. Luckinbill, interrupted Daisy. We were discussing our predicament. Oh, yeah, happens that we was. So, I was saying, the reason I needs to know what it is you've done is so's I can assess a suitable price for my services. If you're high risk, then I'll have to charge you more. But don't get the bloody idea you can lie to me. I can spot a liar a mile off, which many would say is impressive for a man with one myopic eye. I leaned in close. I am wanted for murder. Murders. How many? 3, as far as I know. So, you've done more? No, I haven't done any. I'm innocent. I'm not here to judge, just to count. So, 3 murders. Who'd you murder? I didn't murder anyone. All right, smart Alec. So, who didn't you murder? Specifically, I mean, don't list everyone. We'll be here all day.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to list all 3 billion people in the world.
A, Adam. Adam Adamson.
Okay, 1, a homeless chap. 2, Miss Amelia Hudson, an American in Paris. You keep saying, you see, it's tricky. And thirdly, a nurse at the Hôpital de Pitié. or some similar pronunciation. A nurse, you say? Why'd you kill a nurse? I didn't. Right. I suppose the gendarme is on your heels. They are. Interesting. Sounds like it could be a good one. Fair enough, I'm in. My fee is £9. £9, and it is in pounds because it's got a pound sign. My fee is £9 plus expenses.
I can't afford line pounds. Do I look like a lionionaire? I'm not a lionionaire. I'll have to sell several lines in order to get that many lines.
Expenses? How much? However much I need. Well, how much do you need? I don't bloody know yet, do I? Depends on what I need. Well, what are you likely to need? I mean, I'm not niggardly with my lucre, but a little less vagueness never hurt. Redvers did not answer, but simply stared at me and chugged on his pipe. Then he blew an almighty smoke ring, which sailed towards me and circled my head as though it were a noose. He grinned, revealing a set of wooden teeth upon which he appeared to have scratched the words, "Pissy fuck." Wow. Wow. That was an unexpected end to that paragraph. Fuck. A lot happened in that paragraph. That was a very visual paragraph. The smoke ring, the noose, the grin, the wooden teeth, and then the shock ending on which he appeared to have scratched the words "pissy fuck."
Brilliant. Oh my gosh. Wow. I was not expecting that.
The detail in this story is extraordinary. Splendid, I said, not wishing to argue. It's a deal. Let's go. Payment up front. I don't have that on me. Half now, half later. I don't have that on me either. Oh, well, fuck off then.
3,000 now and 15,000 when we get to Alderaan.
Half now, half later. I don't have that on me either. 25% now, 75%. Like, this guy's not very good at haggling, is he? It's just like, this is the guy who, when he says £1 million, and you're like, did you cut down the number a bit, say 10? He's like, yeah, sure. £10. £10, this is good. Yeah. No, he's got 25% now, 75% later. And George Spooner says, I've got £10 and...
It really is then.
I counted out my money.
10.
52 francs. And yeah, it really is, because then Redvers says, £10 and 52 francs now, the rest later. They just agree. He says, say 10, and Redvers says yes. Here, I gave him my money. Let's go. Best wait till night. That's a good 12 hours. What do we do till then? You kids look like you haven't slept for a while. Get some shut-eye, and we'll move when night falls. You can sleep here, no one will bother you. I looked over at the snorer, then to Daisy, and I shrugged my shoulders. When in Rome, I thought to myself. Then, unhappy with the idiom, I amended it to when in Paris.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I dreamt that I was being hunted by the big man and Benoit. Both men's eyes were hidden, one by his eyebrows, the other by a brown derby hat. Both snorting and roaring with visceral rage. They were chasing me over a landscape of clouds. Far in the distance, Redvers waved from the cabin of his plane, calling for me to catch up. And, even further away, hanging from the moon, gangly Joe was trapped inside a beer bottle, desperately banging on the glass, trying to break free. As I looked down through the gaps in the fluffy blanket of cloud beneath my feet, I could see the black ocean far below, swimming with sharks. Looking back, the big man and Benoit had become stuck together like Siamese twins, and they began to merge into one another until all that was left of Benoit were his eyebrows, which became a spaghetti moustache on the upper lip of the big man. His coat was open now and flapping behind him like a cape, revealing his oblique form beneath that was barely covered by a stripy leotard. As he pursued me, he hurled what appeared to be cannonballs, but as they whizzed past, I realized they were rather babies, dressed similarly in stripy leotards.
Wow.
Suddenly, I had reached the end of the clouds, and there was nowhere left to run. Below, the sharks had grown quite hairy, and I could see that they had transformed into fierce gorillas with fins.
Ooh.
They were screaming in a blood frenzy as they caught and ate the flying babies that continued to drop from the clouds.
Shit.
The big man was bearing down on me, and I had no choice but to face him off. Looking to my hand, where I had hoped to find a gun, I instead found a handkerchief, my initials in the corner, written in blood. All was lost. But then I heard the sounds of hooves, and from the heavens I saw Daisy riding Bitty towards me, the cavalry to save me. Or so I thought. But as they leapt from a distant cloud to land at my side, I saw it was not Daisy at all. It was a red-eyed, green-faced witch who quickly snatched the handkerchief from me and then laughed evilly, as they do in the moving pictures. Next, Bitty opened her mouth and said in a deep voice, "I am not a horse." Before I could beg to differ, the next thing I knew, the big man had leapt at me and knocked me from the clouds. And we were tumbling down, locked in an embrace of death towards the gorilla-infested waters below.
Oh, no.
As we fell, head first, I just had time to see the half-eaten corpses of Amelia, the tramp, and the nurse floating among the gorillas. That's a line you don't get to write very often. And for some reason, shady Henri was there too, counting his money. And then we hit the water. Quite a dream, quite a revelatory dream, and a lot of clues in that dream, right? You basically told us exactly what's going on with the whole story.
Just seeing that, doesn't it? Especially the bit about the hairy sharks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you'd like to get access to our free stuff via a private RSS feed, then sign up at patreon.com/manbycow for no pounds. Bye-bye milk.
Bye-bye.
Worst writer in